Welcome guys, this is Ola from Stop Meow channel and I'm back with another Life is Strange video. So this week I did a short reaction video to Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 3 trailer because we got it this Wednesday, I think. We found out that the episode itself is coming out 20th of December, which bummed me out a bit, but I'm fine with it now. If you're here for the first time, I'm making January Life is Strange vlogs, but also other gaming vlogs as well, so remember to subscribe down below and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. So I've seen many people discussing episode 3 trailer. This trailer was kind of weird, like it wasn't very clear what's happening. I mean, it's often the case with trailers, you don't really know. It's meant to be misleading, it's meant to show other stuff, it's meant to suggest stuff that's not really going to happen. Since I've seen many theories already and I've been wrong about this trailer myself, like I thought that Elliot was not in it and turns out he is in it. I also thought Rachel would not get hurt, but I'm starting to change my mind on this matter. What I decided to do is sort of analyze this trailer frame by frame, well, more important frames of course, and I put it in chronological order, what I assume is chronological order, what I think is going to happen. I am basing it also on some knowledge that I've been sent. You guys sent me some links as well, so I read them. Spoilers going here and there about episode 3, but it just seems like it's based on this trailer, so I'm not sure if I can believe any of this now. First of all, can someone please explain this to me? How come PlayStation trailer got a 16, Peggy, and the trailer that I've seen is 17+? PlayStation in some other state? I mean, that's a US law, obviously. I think in Europe it would have another rating. Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 3, and I think all the episodes got 17+ rating, so it's blood, sexual themes, strong language, use of drugs and alcohol and violence. There is no nudity there. There was nudity there. It's very confusing. I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect nudity, but I do expect sexual themes. Frame number 1. We have Rachel, Chloe and Rachel's dad, James Amber, obviously after the dinner, after the big dinner revelation. Rachel's dad told Rachel that Sarah is her biological mother. Is James even her biological father? I mean, maybe like James and I feel so bad for not knowing her name. Rachel's mom were having troubles getting pregnant on something, and maybe they kind of found a kid or like sorted a kid out. Either that or James had some sort of fling with Sarah and then decided to take care of the child since Sarah is not the most responsible of adults being a drug addict. Frame 2, we have this big conversation going on. So there's Rachel's mom and James talking to frame 3, Chloe and Rachel. I mean, they're not talking to Chloe, I think. They're mostly talking to Rachel. Chloe is just there. So Rachel obviously seems upset. I hope this will reveal some sort of information and knowledge on where did Sarah come from, actually. Then we do see Rachel going upstairs. She's still wearing the red shirt. So she's going upstairs to sort of take a breath. I believe Rachel will go upstairs to her room and Chloe might have some talk or conversation with Rachel's dad or Rachel's mom. I hope they will tell her to stay the night, and I hope they will tell her to support Rachel during this night, which will happen. So what we see next is frame number 5, that's Rachel and Chloe sitting in this magical, wonderful room of Rachel's. I love this room so much. It's very neat and clean. At the same time, as you can see on frame 6, there's so many stars. Some of you guys believed it to be the greater beauty that William, Chloe's dad, was talking about. I don't actually think so. I mean, it might be both. It might be a symbol of the beauty, but I think it's more of a physical form of this beauty. So, well, she just has this sort of light that puts stars across your room. There's plenty of light, like you see it in the right corner. There's some sort of light, and then the stars as well. You have masks, theatrical masks. I analyzed this frame, but I didn't really find anything as important or anything that would be a hint, except for, you know, on the board there's this circle thing. I believe this to be the zodiac sign table. How would you call this? Trailer doesn't exactly show what's going to happen after this moment, but I believe this is the moment we get intimate with Rachel. I don't think it will be shown, as I said in every single one of my videos. I think it will be suggested. It also depends on level of our romance with Rachel, so the higher it is, the better scene we'll get here. Something will happen between Rachel and Chloe, romantically speaking, and then they will fall asleep. Now I believe these frames, so frame number 7, number 8 and number 9, I believe this to be Chloe's dream after they fell asleep on Rachel's bed. It's just dark, so much darkness around them. I think this is a metaphor of like darkness and trouble surrounding them, and how they're holding hands and how they're meant to live through this together and survive this together. You know, they are in this national park, but I mean, it doesn't make much sense to go there at night. They wouldn't find anything there. It's just a symbol of the place where they first saw Sarah. We do see Chloe holding phone on frame 2. Like, she's back in her room. This has to be the next day. Well, I'm thinking that maybe they sort of divided, and Chloe decided to go home and get some stuff, and then she probably told Rachel that they'll meet at the junkyard or somewhere. So Chloe's in her room, she has a phone, frame 11, she's still holding her phone, so it's like she's waiting for a message. This might be some sort of nice scene, but I believe this will lead to conflict with David, because as we know, we didn't really come back to our home last night. We spent the night at Rachel's, and it all makes sense. So if we spend the night at Rachel's, then Chloe's mom was worried as hell. So David will get pissed at us. We're home. This leads to frame number 12, so fight with Chloe. David's fight with Chloe. At this point, Chloe is wearing different clothes, so it makes sense that she changed, given that she was just in her room. So she changed her clothes. As you can see, she has something written on her hand, but I wasn't able to read it. It's some sort of prerogative what we're meant to do. We fight David and then we leave. Now I believe this is the moment where we go to the junkyard, although we do see Chloe having blue hair at the junkyard already, which means that she had to dye it, a bit of it, somewhere along the way. Now obviously trailer is not showing everything, so I believe this to be the outcome of some other scene, like between our morning at Rachel's and our visit at home. Or maybe Rachel went with us actually. This makes sense, they probably left together. I think maybe Rachel and Chloe went together to Chloe's home and then dyed her hair there. Or they did it at Rachel's, but I'm not sure about that. The junkyard scene. This is the big confrontation we've all been waiting for. All the devils are there and hell is empty. So we see Damon, that's frame 16, and we see Frank there, that's frame 17. Chloe and Rachel are both there as well, that's frame 18. And then this confrontation is happening. As you can see, there's some blood on Damon's face. So how did it get there? Did someone hit him? Look at him, he's looking behind Rachel. He's not looking at Rachel, he's looking at something else. The theory that I had before was that Damon would be stopped by Sarah. There is a theory going on that Sarah is sort of a witch, or that she has some supernatural abilities, so she could use those to save Rachel at this point, I believe. Maybe. But then again, we do see blood on the next frame, and that's blood on the knife, and Frank stopping Damon. So I thought it would be misleading, but I actually think that developers changed it. Apparently they've been changing some stuff along the way, and that's why it also took for episode 3 to be released this late, so 20th of December instead of 14th or even 7th of December. That's bigger gap than between the last episodes. So I think Rachel will actually get hurt. I've been back and forth with this one. I thought that she wouldn't, but now I'm thinking that she will. If she gets hurt, I think it's just a minor wound. I don't think it's anything serious, since we still have lots of episodes left and we have to go through other stuff as well. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if Rachel just spent entire episode lying in bed, in hospital bed. From the looks of it, I think she might get hurt, but I also think there's stuff that we don't know about this scene. Perhaps someone else is there, like Sarah will get hurt. I've been thinking maybe Frank will get hurt, hence the blood on her V that we've seen later on in the trailer. I'm not really sure, but at this point Chloe and Rachel are still together, which leads to frame number 21, which you guys sent me, like, I got numbers of this. There is Rachel in Chloe's car there. So we see Rachel, there's Frank RV, that's still junkyard, so they're obviously leaving the all the devils situation. Since it's very rushed and Rachel doesn't seem too stable in this car, I'm thinking that Chloe is taking her to the hospital at this point. I've been back and forth with this one as well, since, I don't know, I thought that maybe someone else would get hurt, and that's still a possibility. Maybe more than one person got hurt. At this point, I think Chloe is taking Rachel to the hospital, hence frame number 23. So we see Chloe and Rachel's dad at the hospital talking to each other. That's very nice. I really want to see them bond. I mean, We know that Rachel's mom is more in favor of Chloe. I think Rachel's dad is a good guy as well. I don't think there's really many bad guys in this episode, except maybe for Elliot and Damon. I think these are truly bad guys. I don't think Rachel's dad is a bad person. I think he's trying hard to be a good person. He's just not really succeeding at this point. So he's talking to Chloe. I'm hoping that he will give her some nice acceptance speech, like sort of, thank you for saving her. She would have died if it wasn't for you. This kind of talk. And then obviously Rachel's mom is hugging Chloe, which is amazing. It's very nice. It's very nice they're bonding like this and they're accepting Chloe. Chloe's the best person there is, to be honest. I want to make a video about it. I've changed my mind so much about her based on Before the Storm. Now this gets tricky. I'm not sure where this scene is placed, 23. We see Chloe taking money from Rachel's home, which is odd. Like, they're obviously taking money to run away. This could be even Rachel's money that she had hidden somewhere. I'm not sure Chloe would go on her own and steal Rachel's dead money unless being told so. So maybe Chloe is there with Rachel and they're taking money together, or this happens after the hospital. And since I'm thinking that Rachel's wounds are minor and she will get out and be released the very same day, the plan to leave Arcadia Bay is still out there, like it's still happening. So they're getting some money, right? Either before the hospital, so in this case that would be both Chloe and Rachel, or after the hospital. So that would be just Chloe being told by Rachel to, I don't know, like go get money, they're hidden behind the books or something like this. Now what I was wrong about during my reaction to the trailer was Elliot not being in it. Elliot is so obviously in there.
Obviously.
If you have a look at this frame, that's Elliot, and this has to be Rachel's dad's office. At first I thought it would be DA's office, but that's I don't think they'd let a creepy guy like this into DA's office. This has to be Rachel's home. So Chloe went there to get the money, and Elliot, the creep guy that he is, he followed her. Or both of them. And he's in there trying to stop them, like, Chloe, I love you, don't go with that whatever. Don't go with her. I'm here for you, or something creepy, maybe trying to attack her, stuff like that. Obviously Chloe will get it right and she will try to hit him, and then next frame, like, she will run away. As you can see, it says Amber on the wall, so it has to be Rachel's dad office, probably home office. Now I'm not sure about chronological at this point. We see Chloe and the forest is burned down. I think what happened was Chloe was meant to meet Rachel, either after the hospital or after she's taken the money. So she took the car, and maybe she was supposed to meet her somewhere and Rachel wasn't there, so she got worried and then she decided to look for her. So she grabbed the car that's working by now. Oh right, I forgot to say about the car. You know when we see Rachel and Chloe at the junkyard, obviously the car wasn't working, we didn't fix it in episode 2. So you remember the small teaser that we saw after episode 2? It was Chloe desperately trying to start the car. I think she was trying to get out of the junkyard after the devil's situation. So we see Chloe and the forest is burned down. She's driving around, probably trying to find Rachel. I'm not sure what happened to Rachel, because Sarah is the mystery of this trailer. She's not really there, which tells me a lot. Like, it tells me that the events will focus on her, and they didn't really have anything that they could show us without us guessing what's happening. I mentioned this before, I read some spoilers, and this is a minor spoiler, that Rachel will have a choice to leave with Sarah or to stay with Chloe, and then Chloe will get to say, like, if she wants Rachel to leave. So we see Chloe and she gets to this place. This has to be the mill that burned down. At this point I think that Chloe is looking for Rachel. I think that she might have some knowledge that Rachel might be with Sarah. Maybe Rachel mentioned this. Maybe Rachel mentioned that she will try to find her. This has to be the mill that burned down. We see Frank's RV is there and the mill is totally ruined. It was mentioned before in episode 2, I think, or episode 1. No, it has to be episode 2. That the mill burned down and that Damon lost a lot of money on this. And this is now a hideout for drug addicts. So Chloe goes inside and she sees Frank's RV. There's blood on Frank's RV. Now, this cannot be Rachel's blood because the Rachel's situation must be resolved by now. Since Rachel is not with us, she's probably at the hospital. I read somewhere that this blood part on the RV part is kind of tricky, that we don't really know. We weren't really shown, so I cannot really guess what's happening with this blood. Like, this is beyond my perception. Chloe goes inside the mill, and I don't know why the hell is she lying down on this floor. Like, did someone hit her? Did she find out that Rachel is not there and she's bummed out? Does she think that Rachel left her with Sarah? I don't know, it just seems like she's very, very broken. Honestly, I would really prefer for Chloe to be hit by someone and physically hit, rather than Chloe thinking that Rachel left without her. So I'm gonna assume that she's been hit by someone physically, but honestly, I'm thinking that she's, depressed that Rachel is not there. Some people were mentioning that perhaps one of them will get drugged by Sarah, either Rachel or Chloe, or overdosed. I'm not really sure how this could happen. What, Sarah taking Rachel and being like, oh, I will drug you now because I'm a drug and I'll show you how it is, how nice it is. No. We do see some of those drugs and a lighter and a spoon and all that. It's kind of full. This has to be Sarah's hideout. It's just that where is Sarah? Where is Rachel? Are they still there? This trailer seems to be kind of tricky. It's deceptive. I'm not sure what's meant to be shown for us to actually know, or what's meant to be shown for us to think that we know it. Based on this Life is Strange episode 3 achievement that's been already released, like Hello Nurse and appendage, like, I know that we'll certainly visit Drew at the hospital. Chloe will probably get a possibility to make a small graffiti. I know that somewhere along the game we'll talk to Steph, we'll have a heart-to-heart conversation, but it's not in the trailer. I think a lot of it was left out of the trailer on purpose to not make us know too much. And I'm alright with it. It's just that I still think that this game is not about what actually happens between them. I hope this last episode will not focus too much on Damon, Frank and Sarah's situation, since it's not really as important. It would be weird to pretend that this was the whole issue of the story, where we know that the whole issue of the story was emotional journey of Rachel and Chloe. The parts I enjoyed playing the most was when I saw them together and nothing in particular was happening, like the train scene or the Tempest. So let me know what you think. Let me know what's your opinions on this based on the frames that I showed you. If you know anything more, if you have any spoilers or anything interesting, let me know as well. I started a Facebook fan page, so I'm trying to look for ways to have a nice communication with you guys. You can find me on Twitter, you can now find me on Facebook. Links are down below the video in the description. Remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Now, this was Ola from Stop Meow channel. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves.